Ramadan, there are certain actions which will be mandatory upon us, which we will have to be doing. And there are about 3 actions in the month of Ramadan which could possibly be mandatory upon us. The first one, of course, is Salah. And Salah is for every healthy, living Muslim. Of course, those who are children and those who are not cognitive, meaning those who are insane, who are not conscious of their actions, they don't fast. But every other Muslim, for every other Muslim, it is mandatory to pray the Salah. So you need to pray Salah 5 times a day. If you're not well enough to stand, you will sit down and pray. If you can't sit down, you will lie down and pray. If you can't make wudu, then you will perform tayammum. But you are not excused. So the first action that is mandatory in the month of Ramadan is Salah, and Salah on time as well. The second action which is mandatory in the month of Ramadan is the fast. Again, those who are healthy and able to fast, they will be fasting. Some people are exempted from fasting: the chronically ill, the children, the insane, those who are traveling a long distance in which fasting will cause them difficulty, the woman who is on a menstrual cycle. These people are exempted. Everybody else, you are going to fast. It is mandatory upon you to fast. The third action which is mandatory is zakah. For those people who give their zakah in the month of Ramadan, for those people whose 1 year cycle ends the end of Sha'ban or beginning of Ramadan or in the middle of Ramadan, then it's mandatory upon you to give your zakah. So these 3 actions are mandatory upon the believer in the month of Ramadan. There are other actions which are highly recommended and highly rewarding as well, which don't come under mandatory but have great virtues and rewards. And one of them is, for example, reciting the Quran. And of course, every Muslim, every believer should be reading the Quran and should be able to read the Quran. And we've already mentioned in previous reminders the importance of having a connection with the Quran, the importance of reading the Quran and understanding the Quran and living the Quran as well. And for those who are not able to read the Quran, then they need to learn to read the Quran in this month of Ramadan. So Ramadan is again one of those actions which are greatly rewarded. And the second action, which is not mandatory in the month of Ramadan but has great rewards, and that is dua, that is supplication. And our main focus now will be regarding dua. And we're going to mention 5 duas which are very important for every believer to be reading in the month of Ramadan. The first dua is, as soon as we hear that the month of Ramadan has started, then we will pray the Sunnah dua. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allahumma ahillahu alayna bil amni wal iman was salamati wal islam Rabbi wa Rabbuka Allah. O Allah, make it a start full of peace and faith, safety and Islam. My Lord and your Lord is Allah. What a beautiful dua to make right at the beginning of the month of Ramadan, in which you are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for peace and faith and safety and of course Islam in the month of Ramadan. So this is a very important dua that every believer should know of and should be reciting come the month of Ramadan. The second dua is a dua which we will be praying every single day at the time of opening our fast. And that dua is the beautiful dua of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. ذهب الظهم وابتدى العروق وثبت الأجر إن شاء الله تعالى. So in this dua, what are we saying? ذهب الظمه. ظمه means the thirst. The thirst is gone. وابتلت العروق. وابتلت العروق means that the veins are moistened. وثبت الأجر إن شاء الله, and the reward has been earned if Allah wills. So this is a dua, the most authentic dua that we will be praying at the time of opening our fast.